Hello, everyone. Welcome to Breaking Barriers to Independence interview sessions with the presenters and speakers for the Breaking Barriers to Possibilities ADA celebration. I'm here today with Samantha Lebron, Miss Wheelchair Florida 2020. So here today, we're going to do a short interview so you can get to know more about her, what her platform is about, and how the ADA has impacted her life, and also to explain how communities throughout Florida could promote inclusion for people with disabilities. So Samantha, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about you and
Yes.
how you became who you are today.
Yes. So I was actually born in New York, but raised in New Jersey. And I have lived in Florida on and off since high school, but the longest stint has been since 2010.
And what has brought you to advocate for others?
Well, I always feel like I've been an advocate since day one. My family would always joke about that. They'd always see me in some advocacy role at some point in my life because I was always the one sticking up for the other children in school, whether they had a disability or not. And as the years went on, I knew advocacy was where I wanted to be. I just didn't know exactly where I fit in. But after I acquired a second disability in my adulthood, it changed my whole perspective on disability because being a wheelchair user now, I see the world with like a new set of eyes. And
How so?
so now it's, the obstacles that I had as an ambulatory person are so much different now as a wheelchair user. And I got involved in advocacy because for so many things, mainly transportation. Transportation is my platform. And without transportation, no one, whether they have a disability or not, they can't reach the opportunities without it.
I solely believe that transportation is the key to independence. I myself am an advocate for transportation, so I know where you are coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to also ask you, how do you define disability?
So for me, disability, I think of disability as any other attribute someone may have. For example, you have a nice smile, but you also have a disability. I play sports, but I also have a disability. It's just like any other trait, and it shouldn't stop anyone from achieving their goals.
And how has the Americans with Disabilities Act broken down barriers for you in your
So
life?
personally, for me, the Americans with Disabilities Act has broken down barriers as far as public accommodations and public transit. So without accommodations, I would not have been able to go to school like the rest of my non-disabled peers. I wouldn't have been able to even get to the school without an adapted vehicle to bring me there because, I started off life in a wheelchair and I transitioned to crutches and a walker, but I used a paratransit vehicle all through school. So without those things, I wouldn't have been able, again, to go to school, to be employed, to be a disability advocate, and an athlete.
So, how has Miss Wheelchair Florida helped you to become a stronger advocate within transportation and within your community?
So with Miss Wheelchair Florida breaks the attitudinal and architectural barriers that exist for people with disabilities. So the chosen spokesperson every year speaks to policymakers and the community about the barriers that exist. And not only that, for myself, throughout this whole experience thus far as Miss Wheelchair Florida, by showing others what I'm capable of doing, I start this dialogue with the community and with policymakers. And with them seeing me doing all these things, they can see that not only I could do it, but the whole community can do those things. And I'm just breaking the ice and letting them know, yes, we can do these things. These are the resources in order to do it. And this is how we can better those resources to make it possible.
And for the Breaking Barriers to Possibilities event, what inspired you to become a presenter for that event?
I became inspired to do this event because this event is being organized by people with disabilities. The speakers have disabilities, and the viewers are going to have disabilities. So we're all in an understanding with each other, but we all have experiences that we can impart on each other and we can all learn from. That's what makes me excited to be part of this.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. Mm-hmm. And how can communities throughout the state promote real inclusion, not just by words, but through actions?
So yes, not just through words, but actions. So different organizations, employers, they could actually show how they would be accepting of people with disabilities. So they can do something like an event where they can maybe do like a little fair and show, what their businesses does and how they can help people with disabilities and how they would include them or maybe hire them as an employee. Because words are great, but face-to-face interaction is even better. And having the opportunity to actually speak to that business owner is so much more than just the words.
And what are the challenges that you see as it relates to disability issues today?
Challenges that I see is, I want to say that 2020 was a big year for inclusion, but there's so much more that we can do. We're just now like breaking the surface when it comes to inclusion. And I really want to see like full immersion of people with disabilities in society, not just...
So basically you're saying you're hoping that society, able-bodied and disabled peers alike, will focus on the ability versus the disability. Yes. When it comes to everyday life, with employment, with transportation,
with all of it,
social relationships,
all of it. And I really want to be a person that is in the forefront of breaking the mentality of separation. We should all be doing things together. We shouldn't be doing stuff separately. Not anymore. We're Absolutely. 30 years into this. No more.
Well, everyone, I would like to thank Samantha Lebron, Miss Wheelchair Florida. You could learn more about her platform on Miss Wheelchair Florida's website, or you may email her. I will provide you all with her information if you have any questions that you would like for her to answer. Thank you for your time today, Samantha, and we look forward to seeing you at the Breaking Barriers to Possibilities ADA celebration. Thank you.